to our week for discussions. We discuss about the youth and technology, and as we know, technology is a very powerful tool that has come to help the world in ways where we connect, it educates us, it also inspires the young people. But at the same time, it has its own vices where it brings about misinformation, creation of harmful content, and in this time of the Lenten period, we are called upon to pause and reflect on how we can make better life choices. And with me, I have our guest. I will let her introduce herself.
Sister Jecinter Antoinette Okoth. I'm a member of the Franciscan Sisters of St. Anna. I work with an organization called Association of the Member Episcopal Conferences in Eastern Africa, that is AMECEA, which is an association of bishops from 9 countries in Eastern Africa: Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Eritrea, South Sudan, Malawi, and Zambia. The secretariat of this association of the bishops is here in Kenya, and so I work there here in Nairobi in the communications department.
We'll delve into technology and the lives of the young people. So how do you think media and communication technologies are shaping the way people learn or relate with these technologies?
Okay, media and communication, I would say, well, this has become like the way of life in the modern society. And as we talk of the young people, they are really in this world of the digital world. That is, the young people learn so many things online. The way they dress, they learn online. The way they carry out themselves, they learn online. The way they interact with people, and generally the relationship with people, with families, with friends, all this they learn online nowadays. It's a bit different from how it used to be previously, where you grow up, this media, media was there, but not digital. So the way people learned was really different from what we see now. And this also shapes how people interact generally, because I've said I'm here in Nairobi. So the way I want to relate with you and the way I may relate to somebody in Mombasa, somebody outside the country, in Germany, in Europe, will be different. I can be communicating to somebody outside, like almost on a daily basis, but I'm with you here, but we talk not very regular. Yeah, so I know media communication has really shaped the way things are currently.
Okay, with this, why do you think it's important to reflect on the technology and the youth within this Lenten journey, where there are aspects like faith and justice brought upon?
Okay, I know Lenten season in the Catholic Church, it's a moment when we are called upon to look back and reflect on our ways, on how we carry out ourselves. Mostly there are 3 key things that we do during Lenten period. That is more on prayer, almsgiving. When we are called to look back into our lives and see how we have been journeying, I think it is also in order just to reflect on how young people are also there in the social media. I think it is a vital way also of helping the youths to really uplift their faith. Why am I saying this? Because in the digital media, in the digital world, that is, you find that there are so many things going on there. It may not only be positive things that people learn. People learn both positive things and even negative things in the media. So there are situations that we even have misinformation in the media. We have things like cyberbullying in the media. in the digital world, that is, and look at it, especially if somebody has faced these things like cyberbullying. What happens? It is something that calls for justice. It is something that has happened in the digital space, but it calls for justice. And I think the church, like the Catholic Church now, finds it in order to also take this moment of Lent to reflect and find out how are young people interacting in the digital media in a way that there is justice even in their interaction. Even we were talking of how we are shaped when we use the digital media. So, can we bring justice when we are in the social media? And if that justice is not there, how can the church come in to help the young people also find justice? I know when I was a student and doing a research paper, I remember when we were being told, like, if you have a presentation, you should have a thick skin. And sometimes I relate it to digital media. If you are told that you are to have a thick skin, what does it mean? When you go for a presentation, you expect that you will be told anything concerning what you have done. It's you who has done it, but those whom you are presenting to your work will tell you so many things. You could have done this, you could have said this, you could have. So you look at it and you're like, you can get annoyed. So it is the same as social media. If you don't have that thick skin when you are using you are in the digital world, I think you can be broken. And so the issue of justice is key to help the youth also maintain their faith. So I think the church is in the right position to reflect on this during Lent, how the young people can have the thick skin when in the social media. That means you can absorb whatever is being said in the media. Yeah.
So we go to it, we talk about it being an opportunity for the young people. How do you think this supports education or innovation and also pastoral outreach?
Yeah, we know right now that a lot is there in social media. So many things. So long as somebody has internet, you can access a lot of things in the media. So let me give you an example that somebody could be here in Nairobi, in one of the good schools in Nairobi. The person is being taught by good lecturers, and the student is well exposed to so many things. They have good laboratories and such like. You find somebody is somewhere in one of the rural schools where there are no good teachers. We know how sometimes these teachers are distributed. You find some schools where teachers are really okay. They could be good teachers, but maybe the environment has made them to act lazily. Let me use that. They could act lazily. So you find a student in that environment may not be all that good. But now, when it comes to use of digital media, if that student has internet, what do you expect of that child? Whatever the child will be able to access in the rural area, somebody in the urban area where they're taught also well will be able to access. That means you can be at par because you are able to, all of you are in a position to interact with the media, and you're able to get new information from there. When it comes to creativity, once again, when you go to the digital media, nowadays you go there and you ask anything, and it will tell you even the procedures. Look at it. Sometimes even if somebody is cooking, you've seen a situation where somebody presents a very nice meal, but this person has never cooked this thing. Why? Because this person went to the YouTube, asked how some things can be done, and then you go, you get the ingredients, blah, blah, blah. Then you go purchase them, you follow the instructions. So you become creative out of that. You learn new things, and then you are able to also present something that people would love, people like, and all that. Not that you knew it, but you learned it through YouTube. And the same time, when you talk of pastoral outreach, like the church can use this digital, we've seen, and it is happening. Like sometimes I go to my phone and you find so many people have sent their reflections, so you are like, which one should I read first? You have this, after a short time you have another one, you have another one, so sometimes it forces you to read some and you even neglect some you don't read, or you see when to read another at some different point. So what I'm trying to say is the digital environment has helped even the church in evangelization, because people can use these very, very gadgets to transmit information, to share the gospel values and such like things.
We've talked about it being educative. How can this AI that has been responsibly used, you see, like in terms of education, how can it help the young people contribute meaningfully to the society that is globally connected?
Well, I would say that AI, that is the artificial intelligence, right now we can't run away from it. Should I say it is even here to stay? And I remember when I read a document when it is being said that it is not just a tool, but it has become like a culture. Because the digital culture, where especially you find the young people in there, and AI, as maybe what I know so far is that this AI, it has so many tools, which the young people can really use to do anything that they want in this world. When you want to create new ideas, you go to a tool that can help you to create these new ideas, and there you are. You have some information on what you want, and then you go ahead and do it. uh, Anything like literally AI has made the world to be like we are very close now, closer to even how we used to be earlier, because it can now, when it comes to even you want to summarize something, you have a tool for that, just to summarize for you whatever you want. And right now, I think the key thing here, when it comes to I think it's more on formation. AI is there, but then how should we use it ethically and effectively? So, how should we, or rather, the church, take that responsibility to form the young people on the use of AI, so that you don't just find yourself like AI, you've heard from your friends, and then now you're using AI, and you don't know more about the implications. So I think the key thing here is on formation. How should the young people be formed to understand what AI is all about? Actually, I was telling you that we were busy today because of what we were doing. We were with the bishops the whole week. I told you I'm working with an association that brings the bishops from the entire Eastern Africa together. There were representatives that have been around this week from Monday up to, they left today. But what have they been doing? They have been learning about artificial intelligence. Even though it is for the, okay, I wouldn't say it is for the young, but it is the young people who are really using it right now. The elderly people may not know it so much. And that is why this week it was like, you, the bishops, you are here. The young people are using this. You don't know about it. So, should you remain in that situation, or how do we go about it? So they were called upon. So just a section of them came together, and they've been learning about this artificial intelligence, which is that's why I was saying formation on how to use artificial intelligence is very, very key right now, to help people more, to be more creative, to learn more, to understand, to know its advantages and disadvantages, so that you know how to use it better and ethically.
Okay, thank you for that. You had mentioned something to do with ethics. You also mentioned cyberbullying. So I have a question. I just want to know what other ethical risks do the young people facing some of these platforms that are AI generated? So what are those ethical issues that we face?
I think the most one, I don't know, it may not be the most significant one, but I think misinformation. Misinformation is paramount because that's why when I talked of formation, you see, if you are informed and you have idea that this tool that you are using can be good and can be bad, and you will be also informed that when you see such things, there is need for verification and all that. I think misinformation is the worst right now because people just get information from the digital media and they take it the way it is. They get it from AI and they use it just the way it is. So misinformation is very, very, very key for us to understand. I remember when Pope Leo the 14th was just appointed. At one point, I think somebody used AI to give some information that Pope Leo has explained about something in the Vatican. It sounded so real that if you are not keen, you would easily take it as the gospel truth. And I know even somebody who immediately she listened to this clip and she was like, well, I think Pope Leo is really for Africa. But it was AI. So by the time people realized, oh, it's like in Kenya we say tumechezewa ama tumechezewa. Yeah, so that is it.
Okay. In this current state, we usually face digital pressures from these platforms. How does it affect the young people, like their well-being, their identity, and also their relationships among themselves, or maybe even the people they relate with?
Let me answer that in the context of the scripture. When God created us, He created each and every human person and said that all that He has created was good. And we are created in His image and likeness. We know that. But then I see what is happening right now with the media, with the digital media, and especially with the young people, is that if you are in social media, your main worry is how many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? Did you get maybe when you posted something? If you see that you have few followers, you see that so many people didn't like your post, you feel your self-worth is now in question. You start asking yourself, Annie, what happened? So and so posted and has so many likes. Me, I posted, I only have maybe 10. And I think that becomes a pressure because each person wants to really, you can keep following people or you keep asking people to follow you just because you want so many people in your account. And I think to me that is a pressure for the young because you don't see yourself now as you don't see the self-worth of yourself, you don't see the value of yourself. So instead you compare yourself with the other people who have likes and have so many followers in the social media. And I think that really it's affecting the young people. That's the moment when somebody will really not have we are together here, but I may not relate with you so closely because I'm really searching for followers in my social media. I'm really searching for followers. So we may not even relate so much because I have pressure the other side in the space which you are not even fully in that space. The young people are in the digital natives. They are born and they found themselves there. So that is the world. Let me say they know that world better. So they really want followers. To me, I think it's a pressure. It's a pressure. And another pressure would be if, depending on somebody's environment, you are in an environment where you can easily access internet. Somebody is in an environment where he or she cannot access internet. So this person will always, you will always find this person searching for places where he or she can get internet. I remember a situation when one day I was going to one of the communities for the sisters, but as I was getting in, there were some people sitting next to the fence of the convent. So as I went in, I asked them, hey, I found so many youths seated there, but most of them were on their phones. And then they told me it is because the sisters had internet. So they normally come to stay next to the fence to access. So imagine if you had something was online and you are not in the internet, you will want to be like your friends. You will hurry very fast to find where can I get the internet so that I can also access the same thing that they're talking about. So I think it's a pressure. We forget that God created us in his own image and likeness, and all human beings, we have the dignity that we deserve. So, but now we search for that dignity through social media.
Okay, we know that to have more information about this AI, you need to gather or know more about it or have literacy. So how does having that literacy, how is it essential to helping people navigate these online spaces with wisdom and confidence?
Relating to what I had said earlier, having information on something, I think is something very essential. So digital literacy is relevant for the youth, because when you learn how to use something, how something is important, how something can affect you, the disadvantages, the advantages of something, you learn it and you know that if I do this, this will happen. If I do this, this will happen. I think that is more helpful than if you are just told, don't do it, and you don't know the reason why. Maybe not parents of now, but parents of then, they could teach their children in a very rough way. Maybe a child is going to touch fire. They know very well fire. If you touch fire, it will burn you. But they can leave you just to touch it, because when you do it, you will learn that next time you don't. I know parents could use such harsh instructions when they want their children to learn. So I'm trying to say, if we are instructed, we learn. There is that digital literacy, even in schools, even in churches. Then the young people will get to know the reason why he or she should use a specific tool in the digital world. And if you don't tell this person, or you don't teach this person why this is important or not, they will not know. They will just be doing. So digital literacy, I think, to me, it's something which is relevant and it is important for the young people, because from there they'll be able to make their choices. They'll choose what to do and with the media and what not to do.
Okay, for the church and the digital culture, how does the church, guided by the synod, how does it understand digital culture as a space of encounter and mission and also formation?
The Catholic Church has always embraced digital media or technology. I think as early as 1960s, the Intermerifica came out, and by then the church had already anticipated about the technology, how it is going to develop. So the church had already embraced this from those years before this social media came in so fast. And so, looking at the synod on synodality, which just ended recently, I think it was one of the areas that was discussed about how can the church relate with the young ones, because it was realized that the young people are more in the digital world. Right now, you find most of them, they don't want to go for mass, they don't want to go to church physically. they want to do it online. Maybe you're one of them. They want to do it online. So these are some of the things that were discussed during the synod. And I remember when even before the synod, there was some data that was being collected from people in the parishes, in the dioceses, and some people were assigned to collect this data from the youth online. So that tells you that already the church had embraced this. They knew that if they don't also reach out to the youth digitally, they will not get what they are thinking about the church. They'll not collect some data from them. So some people were assigned, were tasked with that from the Vatican to reach out to the young ones online, which they did. And of course, the information was taken to the synod. And because this was one of the key areas that was of concern again during synod, so by the time the second phase of synod was ending in 2024, I remember by then Pope Francis created 10 different groups. And these 10 groups that were created, it was because there were some topics which needed more time, more research to be done before they give it the final say. One of those areas was on the youth and the media, or rather, should I call it the digital mission. So this is one of the areas that that the synod proposed. Some people were suggested to go and do more research on this, how the church should really get involved in it. And this research has been going on from that time when the synod ended up to almost now. Actually, some studies have not, some groups have not sent back their feedback. But one of the groups that has sent back feedback, I think 2 weeks ago, should be this group that was working on the digital mission. Some of their findings, okay, they said whatever they have found out is not final because since technology is something that keeps evolving, so it is continuous. But one thing I remember they said is that they realized that digital world is a new culture. It is not just a tool that people are using and you use it for some time and all that, but it is now a new culture because some people have found themselves there. Is where you are, the digital native that I talked about, you are born there. So that is one of the things that they found out. It is not just a tool, it is the digital world that some people are living in it as their culture. So it is now a matter of the church to understand these people in their way of living. And secondly, I think they also talked about the need to form people to know more about this digital culture so that for us to understand and know what these people are also doing in this space, we have to really also understand them. So we have to be informed. We have that awareness that needs to be created to those people who also don't understand that other culture. So that tells you that the church is really is not against the digital world, but they're encouraging us to really understand it. But I know the other thing they also talked about is that it is not only positive on its own, but it also has the negative effects or negative impacts in the society.
Okay, you've talked about the church involvement in this technology or artificial intelligence. How do you think, or what roles do you think the church plays in promoting ethical and compassionate engagement in these digital spaces?
I look at it in that the church right now, I know there's some maybe parishes, some dioceses that have begun this digital literacy even in parishes, so that as the young people grow up, they grow up understanding also the church in the digital world. So there are already some groups that are formed, that have already been formed to instruct the young people in the church the ethical values of digital media and the negative impacts of it. So I think the church should I say the church is not sleeping. The church is also at work to ensure that the young people understand what they are doing in that digital world. Yes.
Okay, we'll continue to. We have responsibilities and shared values. Uh, what do you think some of these institutions or even families, they also schools and the churches as well, what responsibilities do they have in creating a safe and supportive digital environment?
We all come from families. Before you go to school, you are in the family. I want to say that family is like the first school for anybody for learning anything. So when it comes to issues of digital media, the family should really be the very first one to instruct or teach their children as they are growing up. I think when I was talking about even the issue of use of TV or the rest, I think that can be even a good example here. Like how should your parents or your elder siblings, as you are growing up, how should they really bring you up to understand the world where you have found yourself into? Because you find sometimes the parents, they don't instruct their children, they let them learn on their own. And when you are left to learn on your own, you learn anything. But the family should be like the very first school where you are supposed to learn. So your parents, your elder siblings should always uh, give you the direction and guide you. When it comes to school, because I've said the digital world is here to stay with us, now it is also again the responsibility of teachers in school, I think, to come up with some curriculum on digital literacy again, so that from school, okay, you get instructions from the family, you come to school, you find this digital literacy also in school, the teachers also impart more on that. You go to church, I think I've explained about church. With this, it's like now a combined effort, some collaboration from family, from school, from church. I think even if you are a child who really doesn't want to know, you have forces from both sides. Will you not change your attitude and say that, okay, this is here for us and let me now use it responsibly and effectively?
How can technology be shaped to uplift human dignity and strengthen the relationships we have?
Technology, these things, they're made by human beings. Huh? They're made by human beings, and that means if it is human being who has made this thing, there are things which have been put in it which can be good, which can be bad, right? The way you have said. So for this to be reshaped, I want to imagine one of the things could be those who are coming up with these new technologies. There could be different companies, different institutions. These companies, they can maybe if it is the church responsibility and even the government, the state, that is the church, I think they can come up with policies that can also guide those who come up with these technologies, so that they make it in a way that they don't harm those who use these technologies. Then if they come up with such policies, it means they are reshaping how these technologies can be developed or can be created. Because if they are left free, do whatever you want and go with it, then they can come up with some technologies which are harmful to the people and nobody will be bothered. But I think if the government comes in, if society generally comes in, if the church comes in, and this goes to especially those who come up with these things, I think it will reshape this digital media.
As we conclude now, maybe if you feel like you have any other insights that could help these young people.
Digital media is not bad. The digital environment is not bad. Using digital media is not bad. But then let us be keen to really understand when we are using these gadgets, how are we using it? Is it ethical? Are we just using it because others are using? Why are you using some specific digital um, uh, gadget? If you want to use YouTube, why are you using YouTube? If you want to use social media, I mean like TikTok, why are you using that? Have a reason as to why you are using something. We said earlier that these gadgets, they also reshape our own way of thinking. We learn from these things, but what is it that you learn when you are even on your own thing? It calls for personal responsibility on how we use our digital gadgets. And again, even besides only the young ones, it's not only the young people who are using these gadgets. Those who are using it even for sharing reflections, we have those who are teaching people how to do some other things, giving some people guidelines. But then, what is also our intention when we are giving this information? Sometimes you may be giving instruction on how something is being done. Are you giving this instruction to develop somebody, or you are giving these instructions to ruin somebody's life? Because somebody will go to social media, find instruction on how 1, 2, 3, 4 is being done. Is it for the good of this person, or for to ruin the life of this person? So generally, that is what I would say, and that would be my advice. Let us use the digital gadgets effectively for our own growth and for our own good, for the development of our society and the church. Thank you.